Alright, video game warriors, welcome back to our Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered comprehensive walkthrough series. Hopefully you're doing alright. This is chapter 8. Let's get cracking because we've got a lot to do. And this chapter is huge. There are many things to collect, lots of little bits and bobs to do, all sorts of crazy shenanigans going off. We've also got a chapter specific achievement. So we'll jump on into the action here. So at this first section, nothing too wild. Basically just slice and dice these bad boys. At the entrance, if we fight them sort of like in between each other, sometimes we can sort of like make them attack each other. Good stuff. So let's smash on through this. Don't forget, if you've not got that achievement yet, this would be a good place to get that. The achievement is make one of these golems defeat the other one. So if you just get them to whack each other in the face, that's all we really need to do. There are loads of health basins and stuff knocking about in this courtyard, so if you take a bit of damage, it's all good. Don't worry about it because we can just pop over to the sides in a sec and bag ourselves some health top-ups. So that is the first bad boy sorted. And then we just got the second bad boy as well. So, yeah, there we go. That is that. So with the chapter-specific achievement on this level, it says destroy as many breakables as possible inside of Vorador's mansion. So, I mean, there's a lot, to be totally fair. There's loads and loads and loads of breakables. So here we're just going to pop up to the top, whip on over to the Spectral Realm, and then phase on through. But yeah, you'll see what I mean in terms of breakables, because, you know, if you look around here, we've got chairs, we've got all sorts of stuff. We've got stands, chairs, cupboards, tables, you name it, and Vorador has it in his mansion, it would seem. So yeah, we've basically... I've never seen this achievement pop up before, but if I'm going off what we have done previously in this walkthrough, one of the previous achievements was defeat every single vampire hunter at the Pillars of Nosgoth. And for that one, it was literally every single vampire hunter around that level. So if I'm going off that logic, that basically means that we have to break every single piece of furniture inside Vorador's mansion, which will certainly take some time, for sure. So let's get cracking on through that. So what I'm going to do is opt for the Fire Reaver here. We've got an achievement which is set enemies on fire, so, you know, let's get cracking through that and set these bad boys on fire. So that's going to open the way forward. There is a secret straight away. This is the new Arcane Tome that's in the remastered version of Defiance. So if we walk on up to this particular painting and give this a quick bop, we can actually smash through that and open that bad boy up. And there's one of those new Arcane Tomes hidden behind here. So make sure to pick that up before proceeding forward. We're just going to have a light snack on the way up here. But yeah, this level is massive. There's loads of stuff. We've got a temple to do, which I think is the water temple. You can try and like push these enemies onto these spikes as well, although sometimes they don't like to play ball. It's a little bit easier with Kain's like lift and push type thing, but it can work sometimes, depending on the positioning. I don't think I've cast... I'm just going to double check that we've cast spells and stuff as well, because I'm not sure if we've cast the Fire Reaver spell. We definitely have not cast the Air Reaver, I don't think, if my memory serves. But I've been to sleep and woken up since the last recording, so maybe we did cast it. Either way, we'll just try and feed the Reaver a few times and see if we can get that to be powered up. I think we've got a little bit of a fight on our hands just around the corner, if memory serves as well. I think there's some of those like golems that sort of like wake up. I'm just going to cast the spell just to make sure we're casting all the bad boys. So that'll do. And let's push on forward. But yeah, we've basically got loads of shenanigans to do on this level. Just going to TK blast that, and then it's fire. Oh, maybe these don't wake up till a little bit later, perhaps. But yeah, either way, we've got like, I think it's 3 key items to get. We've got to go to one place, get a key item, bring it back, go to another place, get another key item, bring it back to this room, go to another place, get another key item, bring it back to this room. That then unlocks the water temple. Then we've got to go do the water temple. The water temple's got a boss fight in it. So we've got to smash through a boss fight. There's loads and loads of stuff. As well as go all the way around Vorador's mansion and break every single piece of furniture. Yeah, so pretty wild here. The achievement itself is called Interior Designer. It says destroy as many breakables as possible in Vorador's mansion. So yeah, we'll get looking at that in just a sec. So for now, we just need to whip out the old Air Reaver and slap it in here. And then the first way that we're going to go is through this fire door here. So we've got a fire door on one side, and I think it's the air door on the opposite side. And we basically just need to go through these sections like many times. So we're going to spectral through this bad boy. I'm not sure if we've cast the spell in the spectral realm as well. So, you know, the spell with the spectral reaver. So we probably should try and focus on that just to make sure that the spell has actually been cast at least once. So maybe if we fight these bad boys. There is an achievement later with like an upgraded version of this enemy here as well. So these things get even bigger and crazier later on. And there's an achievement for defeating so many of these bad boys. Well, not this particular version of them. It's the bigger, beefier version that we have to defeat loads of later. But that's chapter, I think it's chapter 12. If my memory serves for that one. Anyway, we didn't manage to power up the Reaver. Maybe we still can, potentially. I don't think we've got enough enemies to actually power it up by the looks of things. No, so let's forget that for now. Anyway, we need to head over to this material realm doodah over here and pop over to the material realm. We've also got one of these stones here, so it's probably a good idea just to sort of like quickly blast through your spells and just make sure that you've cast them. If these would be so kind as to let me cast. They're not having it. They're not having it. There we go. So we've got the Material Reaver spell. Well, you know, we've already cast the Umbral Cloak, but might as well cast it again, why not? The Light Reaver spell. Let's just double check we've cast that bad boy. Nice. Beautiful. And the Fire. Let's just cast that bad boy. Nice. and then the air. Just to make sure that we've cast all these spells. Cool. So that'll do for now. Enemies sprinting around on fire. Beautiful. Glorious, glorious. So let's just have a quick snack. Oh, never mind. He's kind of like phased into another universe, it seems. Anyway, that's fine. So let's just crack on, because we've got a lot of stuff to get through here. Video game warriors. Thank you so much for watching this series as well, warriors. I am super grateful. Thank you for liking the videos, subscribing, commenting on the videos. All that support really does massively make a difference. So thank you so much. It allows me to, you know, sit here and keep creating YouTube videos, keep creating content and stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for all the likes and comments and shares and all that good stuff. So what we're trying to do here is sort of like climb onto that little broken column there, and then we want to go all the way around over here, and then TK blast this bad boy, and then climb up here. Right, so I guess this is where we start, you know, get started. This is where we get cracking on breaking all the things. So, you know, as we're sort of like working our way through this mansion, you'll just see loads and loads of chairs, benches, tables, cupboards, you know, all sorts of crazy stuff. Just a side note with these enemies here as well, there is an achievement for being knocked backwards. Well, technically it doesn't have to be backwards, but there is an achievement for being knocked into a breakable, and the breakable breaking. So there are certain enemies that have this shield, like these ones here with the wings. So they have this like telekinetic shield. So if we blast a TK bolt at them, it actually reflects it back at us. So you can actually use that to your advantage if you want to get that achievement. So if you cast at these, when the shield is on, which it's currently not by the looks of it, you'll know when it's on because they've got like a bit of a glow type thing. I think it might be that. Trying to get it to pop. Yes, there it is. It finally popped. So what I'm trying to show you is, if you could place yourself, for example, in front of a breakable and then cast the TK blast, you know, it can knock you backwards into certain breakables and help you get the achievement, is what I'm trying to, just like that. So yeah, this can be a good place to bag that achievement, is what I'm trying to spit out here. Anyway, let's crack on with the slice and dice. So just ignore that door for now. We don't need that just yet. Let me give these guys the old one too. Go for a few wombo combos here. Bit of perforate carcass, can't go wrong with that. And a few feeds. Anyway, so that is that. I guess we need to look around every single little corridor and hallway and stuff for this achievement. There's also a collectible just tucked away up here in this little section towards this fireplace. So make sure to grab this collectible. I don't know if we can destroy that bed. I'm going to say no. So I guess we could leave that. But yeah, just make sure to grab that collectible that's just tucked away over there. And yeah, I guess we'll just keep our eyes peeled for breakables and stuff. Like I mentioned earlier, Video Game Warriors, I actually haven't got the achievement personally, the one interior design achievement. So, you know, I'm essentially making an educated guess on that achievement popping. I'm just looking around to see if we've got enough enemies to power up the Reaver, because I wanted to cast a Spectral Reaver spell. I don't think we have in that room, so I'm just going to leave it for now. Anyway, pushing on forward. Be careful here, because if you fall down there, that will defeat Raziel instantly in this section. So do not fall down there. You want to sort of jump over to this section, jump over to this section over here. Have a quick soul top up, and then we've got a Material Realm Doodah just here. So let's pop her back into the Material Realm, and then we're going to go through this door. Alrighty then, so let's take a look at what is popping off in this hallway. Many more breakables, it would seem. So let's crack on through here. We'll whip over to the old Fire Reaver and give them the old slice and dice treatment. We shall feed the Reaver. Yoink. I'll take your soul. I'll take yours. And perhaps these as well. So yeah, let's just give these guys the old slice and dice treatment. Make sure to let me know in the comments, Video Game Warriors, how you're getting on with Defiance. Hopefully you're enjoying your playthrough. Let me know what just happened then. We almost glitched into oblivion. I was going to say, let me know your predictions for the future of the Legacy of Kain franchise. Just make sure to grab all of the breakables in this hallway as well before proceeding forward. So I'm just keeping my eyes peeled for all of these breakables, as there are many of them. Vorador's beds for all of his guests. Yeah, let's crack through here, Video Game Warriors. But yeah, if you've got any predictions for the future of the series, then please feel free to let me know in the comments. What types of Legacy of Kain games would you like to see? 2D games, 3D games, more combat focused, more puzzle focused, more story focused, single player, multiplayer, cooperative multiplayer, you know, PvP type stuff. Let us know in the comments. Let's just whip these souls here. I thought that guy was defeated, but let's give him a quick perforate carcass. There we go. Okay, so we are free to go. Once again, many breakables. Just going to feed from the basins. More breakables, more breakables, more breakables. Like I say, I would assume it's every single breakable in Vorador's mansion, so we need to be. I don't think you can break that? Question mark. I'm going to say no, so we'll leave that. Speaking of puzzles, there's kind of a puzzle-ish in this room as well. So let's take a gander at that, Video Game Warriors. I'm not sure what he's focusing on there when he's attacking. I think there is some hidden things in this room, but I don't know exactly which ones it is. Perhaps it's the one just below us. I think there's one here. Yes. So basically, the idea in this room at Video Game Warriors is we've got to go and find all of these orbs, these sort of like dark orbs, and we have to change them all into light orbs to be able to proceed. The hitboxes, well, I guess they're called hurt boxes. The hurt boxes on those benches were a little bit funky. They're just to throw that out there. Right, so basically what we need to do here is find all these. I'm going to try and look with that one. I can't remember what's breakable and what's not. We need to whip over to the Light Reaver, and what we need to do is change all of these dark orbs into light orbs. This is like kind of a puzzle type room. I mean, don't judge me for this, video game warriors, but I kind of miss the block puzzles from Soul Reaver 1. I actually quite like the block puzzles, to be fair, but I realised that, you know, many games these days don't really have that kind of loads and loads of block puzzles put in them, but I am quite a fan of block puzzles personally. So here we're just going to pull this out so we can just climb on up and change this orb. What else we got in this room? A few more bits and bobs. We can just tap square. I can't remember if I've mentioned this yet or not, but the code here is pulled from Soul Reaver 1, I think it is. You can tap square to do like a quick push if you want to. So just push that into that center section there on that switch. That's going to turn the fire off, so we can change the orb. Two more. The new camera really makes this particular puzzle room like so much better, because some of the jumps and stuff are a nightmare with the old camera. Anyway, just pull this bad boy out and then we can get this orb over here. We've got the final one. I think it's up above us. So this was... Got another breakable there. I mean, I probably would have... I mean, I only just saw that by chance in the corner of my eye, which now means I've got to go check this entire room to look for those breakable tables, because I've just totally forgot about them and I've not been looking out for them, which means I probably have overlooked some. Yes, I have. So that achievement is going to be a pain for sure, not gonna lie to you. So as far as I can see here, video game warriors, I've got all the breakables in this room. Question mark. So we've got the last orb to grab, which I believe is up here. If we head on up to this climbable wall and then kick jump off, so we are on here. So yeah, this particular bit here is like is way easier with this new modernized camera. The old one on this section was just a nightmare. So yeah, we just need to TK blast that and then just jump all the way over. But yeah, I would highly recommend using the modernized camera for that particular jump section right there. So otherwise it's crazy. Anyway, so that is that, and then we can just jump on down, grab this bad boy. Also, just to point out here, the upgraded statues look so much better. If you look at the old PlayStation 2 graphics here, and then the upgrade on these statues is wild. Like they've really gone to town there with that upgrade. Anyway, moving on forward, video game warriors, I think we are good to sort of like backtrack here. So this is what I mean about backtracking many times. I guess we'll just look out for the the breakables and the furniture as we are kind of like making our way back. We're looking clear, video game warriors, we're looking clear. So yeah, back down into the sort of like central main hall. So let's pop down into here. Any breakables? No, I think we're good. So yeah, we're basically going to be backtracking to the what we'll call like the fountain room. So once again, it's more slice and dice. I think this game probably took a little bit of inspiration from Devil May Cry in a way, in terms of obviously the combat is like nowhere near what Devil May Cry does, but you can kind of see that they've kind of tried to put in like different skills, like jump up in the air and like combo in the air, and they've put these sort of like combat skills in that kind of like give a little bit of variety to the combat and do like air combos and knock enemies down into the floor, bounce them around and all that type of stuff. So they've probably sort of like taken a little bit of inspiration from that to an extent. Anyway, in terms of this section, just do the same old strat as before. Video game warriors, just get these guys to sort of like whack each other in the face. So stand like relatively in the middle-ish of them. There's a bunch of health basins knocking around this room as well, so if you take a bit of damage, it's not the end of the world because we will be topping up our health in just a sec. So yeah, just take those enemies out and then we can proceed forward. Just thinking on the subject of combat in Legacy of Kain games, they definitely, if they made a brand new 3D Legacy of Kain game, they definitely would need to do something with the combat for sure, and sort of like bring it up to, modernize it a little bit and bring it up to modern combat standards. Run, little Raziel. So anyway, moving on forward, we just need to whip out the old air reaver once again, slap it in here, and now we've got the key item, we can pop that into here. So pop the key item that we just grabbed into this doodah, and then it changes the mansion. So basically the picture that is just behind Raziel here, that's on the wall, anytime that we see that image, it's now cracked. So this particular looking type thing here. So that will change the mansion a fair bit. So we can now attack those cracked walls and get stuff that is behind the walls. So for now we want to go through the air door, and we're making our way to get the next key item, and we also have to backtrack in each of those directions that we have just gone in a little bit later in this level as well. I think there's an achievement for knocking enemies into the water. I can't remember exactly how many enemies it is, probably something like 25 or something, but I just wanted to kind of like throw that out there, that there is one for sort of like defeating enemies by pushing them into the water or knocking them into the water. So let's have a quick top up here. Yoink, thank you. So the way to go, I believe, is actually in the water and then swim on down. I think it's a spectral realm shift if my brain is remembering things. So yeah, we're going to spectral shift and head on through here. What have we got popping off in this room? Nothing too crazy. I still would like to cast this spectral spell, but we need I probably would say we need maybe about 3 or 4 enemies knocking about in the same sort of area to be able to do that. So I guess we'll leave that for now. We'll pop over to the material realm, and basically we're just hunting down the second key item in this mansion. So let's go do that. A little cinematic there, but we'll just leave that for now. Oops. So I'm just going to try and whack these enemies into the water. That's one. There might be another one that pops out, so I'm just going to try my luck. Yes, here we go. Let's give me the old one too. Another one. Nice. Another one. They're just lining up for us, video game warriors. Beautiful. So yeah, just whack those into the water. And then, oh, we've got more. I'm going to take advantage of this and go for it. I'll pop them into there. There is also an achievement later, just to point it out, that we have to defeat a very specific enemy under the water. So there's an enemy that's called the Transformed, which we don't see until I think it might be chapter 12. So we basically need to find this enemy called the Transformed, and we need to defeat it underwater. So here, I mean, these are more breakables, so I'm just going to take a guess and say, you know, these are classed as the all breakables achievement. So, you know, let's give those a quick bop with the Reaver. A quick bop with the Reaver as well. We're going to opt for the Light Reaver here. I quite like the sort of like bright glow of the Light Reaver. Helps us see a little bit better. Have a quick snack. Yoink, thank you very much. So as far as I can see, warriors, we are clear on that one. So yeah, let's crack on. We're just jumping up this section, jumping up this section, jumping up this section. Anything hidden behind here? The answer is no. So we're just going to climb onto this bad boy here. So yeah, we're quite close-ish to the key item. But, like I say, there's still a fair bit of stuff to do here. So we smash that, it creates a shortcut, and then we can spectral through. But yeah, when we hit that, it's basically made a shortcut. So if we fall down here, don't worry, it's all good. We can use that shortcut to get back up, which is like a bunch of like broken stuff down there. It's created like a climbable wall, so we can use that to get back up. So I'm just trying to remember what the best way to do this is. We need to sort of like do the spectral shift. So if we jump to this one, and then spectral shift, then we go over to that one. That was close. Then to that one, and then to over here. I also quite miss the spectral shifting from Soul Reaver 1. Like Soul Reaver 1 had like way more you know, spectral shifting puzzles and stuff, where you had to like make your way through a room and you know, figure out like when to shift, when not to shift, to sort of like, you know, open up the room and make your way through and change the environment and stuff. And I just thought that was really cool. I do genuinely miss. I'm just going to cast this spell while I think about it. So that's the Spectral Reaver spell cast. Brilliant. What was I saying? Yeah, I miss the spectral shifting puzzles in Soul Reaver 1. I just think it is really well designed. Anyway, moving on forward. video game warriors. We've got loads and loads of additional breakables, so I'm going to smash on through that. I'm also thinking of that achievement for lifting 5 enemies up into the air at the same time. We still have not got that. I'm not sure if the Air Reaver would be good for that. I feel like this is... the Air Reaver's got some kind of power up. In fact, while I think about it, let's just read the Reavers a sec. I totally forgot what the Air Reaver's stuff is. Enemies get spun around and can be thrown with combo. Okay, tornado that launches enemies away. Maybe not. Wasn't sure if that could perhaps, you know, knock them into the air slightly longer than the other Reavers, but maybe not. Either way, we need 5 enemies anyway, and there's only 3 in this room, so it's definitely not the one. So let's just top up on our health. Get a bit carried away there, thinking of that achievement and not looking at our health. Let's give this guy the old perforate carcass. The thing is with perforate carcass, I think I mentioned it in a previous chapter, but because it's like just a sort of single point type attack, it sometimes I sometimes opt for like the standard combo instead, if that makes sense, depending on the positioning of the enemies. So usually the enemies will kind of like stand next to each other towards their left and their right sides, as opposed to just standing in a sort of like front to back line, if that makes sense. Just want to see this in action. This little wind thing here. And it lifts them up a little bit, is it? Power up Air Reaver. But yeah, I usually go for like the standard combo, depending on the positioning of the enemies. I mean, sometimes Perforate Carcass is definitely the answer. Feed from 75 blood and soul basins. Nice. Achievement unlocked, video game warriors. Yeah, so make sure to keep topping up on your blood and your soul basins as you play through. So you definitely can't smash that. I think we have to backtrack that way anyway. I'm just thinking about what the... I wonder why that is not breaking. I feel like that's going to bug me that it hasn't broken. But okay, it's fine. I'll accept it. I'll accept it. We'll just move on. So, like I say, with this break everything achievement, I've never actually gone through this mansion yet and broken every single thing. So I can only really take an educated guess at this interior designer achievement, break everything in Horador's mansion. So yeah, like I say, it's just a educated guess, so the only way we can find out is just basically by playing through this level, and we'll find out when we get to the end. Right, so basically what we want to do here is charge up the Dark Reaver, and then we're going to cast the Umbral Cloak, and we're going to jump up here, 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 and then whack this. Raziel, please. Please. There we go. So yeah, another little puzzle room thing here where we basically just go around with the Dark Reaver and we press on all of these light orbs to turn them into dark orbs. That is the aim of the game in this room. We've got more breakables. Let's go for it. Is that fully broken? The answer is no. We've still got more to do there, so I've got to be careful. I'm assuming we can't break that. Looks like the answer is no. Like I mentioned in some previous chapters as well, Video Game Warriors, there's some achievements that I genuinely don't know where to try and get them. So there's one that's like float for at least 13 seconds as Kain. No idea. I've tried it in various places. I've never got it to pop just yet. There's the, the one that I mentioned earlier, which is lift 5 enemies in the air using the lift attack at the exact same time. Again, no idea really where the best place is to do that one. But yeah, if you have any ideas, Video Game Warriors, then let us know in the comments. So here, all I'm doing really is just popping up to this bad boy, TK blasting that switch at the back, and then casting the Umbral Cloak spell as this rises up. And then we can sort of like jump across these platforms and press square hit on that to change the orb. Then we've got one last one that I can't remember where it is. It's outside here, I think. So if we smash through this window, and then we've got orb just outside that window there on that balcony thing. And that is that, Video Game Warriors. That's another puzzle in the bag here. And another key item. So yeah, if you get spotted by those like statue things here, then it raises that up. It's also really interesting to sort of like look around this area with the free camera, because we never got the ability to look around with the camera before. It's quite cool to see all this this area. Anyway, so now if we grab this doodah, we can take this back. So this is the Heart Seeker. And then I think it's just a case of going all the way back to the fountain room. So let's do that, and we just need to keep our eyes peeled for breakables as we work our way on back. So it's not breaking. It's not breaking. I'm just going to have to accept it. So yeah, let's work our way back, Video Game Warriors, and we're just going to look out for breakables as we work our way back to the fountain room. I'm not sure about this achievement. Some of these things like look like breakables, but are not actually breakables. So we can only find out at the end of this chapter, Video Game Warriors. Alright, so next we are heading back in this direction. And back through here again, and then Spectral through here. Just thinking what we have coming on up. We've got... there's some breakables here as well. So, you know what? Let's go do that while I think about it, otherwise I'll just completely forget. So, let's go back in that direction and break those bad boys. Yeah, let's do that. I feel like the Fire Reaver is the choice for these, although it makes no difference whatsoever what it does in my mind. It feels more like a, break furniture type Reaver to me. Yeah, break Vorador's furniture Reaver. Okay, cool. So that's that smashed. Was there some up here as well, or was there none? Is that not a climbable wall? Guess not. I will double check that later, but I'm fairly sure that we're clear up there. Okay, so far so good. So that's looking sorted. We've got some more breakables in this little Hallway. Interior designer. We finally got it. So it doesn't appear that it's every single breakable. I mean, there was 2 things left here. There was 2 benches left. And the achievement popped. So yeah, it's basically every single breakable in the mansion. Technically, I think we did hit these 2 once, but we didn't actually fully break the benches here. We just hit them once and they were in the broken state. But either way, I think that achievement translates as just break everything in the mansion and you're good. So that is that. Moving on forward, we've also got another collectible. If we approach this and smash this bad boy, we can actually break this open now. And we can have access to this. So make sure to grab this collectible just here. This is only breakable once you've popped one of those key items in, just to point that out there. So you do have to insert one of those key items first to make that painting breakable, otherwise it just won't break. I can't remember what key item it is. Oh, we've only put one key item in so far, haven't we? So that one. So yeah, this is where these bad boys will spring to life. So let's give them the old 1-2. Give them the old Vorador's furniture destroyer treatment. I've got 3. Nice. Also, video game warriors, if you are enjoying this video, then please do pop the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos from me, and pop a comment and let me know how you're getting on with Defiance so far. And yeah, thank you so much for your support with this series. I am super grateful. So thank you so much. All the likes, comments, shares, you know, subscribing, all that good stuff. It really keeps the channel ticking. You know, keeps the channel going, keeps the channel alive, allows me to sit here and make videos and make content, make walkthroughs, make YouTube shorts, all that good stuff. So yeah, I'm just really grateful for your support. So thank you, video game warriors. Right, so yeah, just give these guys your 1-2. You know the drill by now. You can also, when they do that stomp, by the way, you can use that sort of like double tap X thing. So it's not very often they'll do the stomp, but if they do foot stomp the ground, you press like X then X to do that sort of like dodge then jump type thing, which sometimes can be useful when fighting those enemies. Raziel, please. It's not time for a swim. So, yeah, if we whip out the old air reaver, slap it in this doodah, and then head on up. We can now put the second key item into here. That's going to, once again, change the mansion a little bit. We can now get access to that health thing. So, if your health is low, you can always top up fully in this room. Just grab both of those soul basins as you pass through here. Right, so next we go through the fire door again, and we've got more collectibles and stuff coming on up in a sec. So now that we've put the doodahs in the doodahs, those key items, we can break these walls. I'm just thinking what is down here. We have to go through this breakable wall now and then fall down this kind of like sewer type area and follow this around. Raziel. Little Raziel. So in this room, this is a bit tricky, to be totally fair. These platforms, in fact, before I do that, I'm just going to quickly look down in this room because I can't remember if there's anything that we can collect just yet, or if it's perhaps later. I think it might be later. But you see these things under the water here, these will pop up, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. But the timing of like how they pop up is a little bit weird. So it's like you kind of have to pre-run and pre-jump before they're sort of like fully up, or at least you did in the PlayStation 2 version. Yeah, they're not really very generous with their time, so you have to be like super quick there. But yeah, the idea is that we work our way up to the top here and grab this key item up at the top. But yeah, essentially what I try and do after doing the TK blast there on that switch is kind of like pre-run, kind of like start running towards the jump before the pillar has actually risen out of the water, because it happens so fast. You need to be like super quick on that particular like timed jump thing. I think we need to feed the Reaver a few times as well, so I need to keep remembering to do that. I don't know if we've got the achievement for setting enemies on fire. Run, little Raziel. I love the voice lines from these enemies so much. Some of my favourites. But to be totally fair, you know, the voice acting and the voice lines in this game are, you know, it's probably some of the best voice acting, some of the best voice lines in video games, full stop. I was just wondering if we had 5 of these enemies knocking about. I don't know if we did. I was going to try for that lift thing, but 1, 2, 3. No, just 3. I don't know if we've done all of his combat skills as well, so I'm just going to try doing some of those. I don't think we've done the forward and square in the air, so that's kind of like perforate carcass, but the airborne version of it, which I think is a really cool move, to be totally fair. It's those kind of moves that make me think, you know, it's obviously not quite as crazily complex as Devil May Cry, but you can sort of see some inspiration in these combat skills and stuff. Especially that one. Anyway. Run, little Raziel. Okay, so we've got the key item from that area. We need to get another key item from the opposite direction. So let's go do that. I'm just thinking, what is coming on up? Have a quick health top up. I don't think we need to pop back into here just yet. And we don't need to worry about the furniture thing, do we? Because we got all the furniture. We've already got the furniture achievement as it is, so I guess we can stop thinking about that one. So for now, what we will do is we're going to backtrack up and back through to the fountain room. I think we still need to get an achievement for throwing enemies onto spikes as well. That's probably better with Kain, with his like pick up and throw type thing. So what have we just got? We've got Vorador's half of the crest. So if we go the opposite side, over towards the Air Reaver. Run, little Raziel. This is our world. Video Game Warriors, I'll bring you some good news. I've released my own video game on Steam called Loki the Lynx. It's a 2D platformer collectathon where you've got to collect shiny coins and collect shiny keys and rescue Loki's friends from the dastardly Dr. Amygdala. It took me 12 months to make. It's got controller support in there. It's got loads and loads of Steam achievements. If you enjoy the content that I create and you want to support me as a content creator and as an indie game developer, then please consider buying Loki the Lynx on Steam and popping it a positive review. I'll leave a link in the pinned comment and a link in the video description as well if you want to head on over and check it out. Thank you very much if you do. Massively appreciated. And then we are going to go down here all the way to the bottom. If some more enemies do spawn, I'm definitely going to take advantage of that and try and knock them into the water. At least I'm fairly sure there's a water-based achievement anyway, but so that's 2 more. And we can now smash through this bad boy because we've put those key items in place. Just going to try my luck with popping these enemies into the water. I think we just put a key item in place there, by the way, just to point that out. I think I just did that by accident, but either way it doesn't really matter. We put the key item that we just got into the floor there. So we've got in the air, towards, and triangle. Got it. So yeah, I just put the key item in this section here just to point that out. Yoink! Thank you very much. Need a quick top up. Right, so moving on forward, we need to go in that door in just a sec. We have more volunteers. I see. I want to kind of lure them this way a little bit. If you would kindly come this way. I don't think that guy's going to make it to the water. It's probably going to be defeated a bit too soon. Oh, we seem to do okay. And again, brilliant. Racking them up, racking them up. So next, this is the way that we need to go, and this bit is a bit tricky. There's some collectibles that we need to grab by doing a massive backtrack. For now though, just smash through this breakable wall, and I think we've got another key item to bag. There are some rare occasions where I'm going to use the PlayStation 2 camera, and in this instance I think this is a good one to use it in, and I also use the old PlayStation 2 graphics as well. It just helps me see these symbols a little bit better. So the idea is that we basically, you know, make these pillars kind of like turn to the symbols that are on the far wall there. So we want this one to be air, facing inwards like so. This one is fire, wants to be facing inwards. This one wants to be earth, I think that is. And this is water. So, yep, there we go. That raises that bad boy. So yeah, sometimes it's worth switching to the old graphics and the old camera, but not very often. Anyway, so just work our way on up here, grab this key item. That's another key item in the bag. So we're looking good, Video Game Warriors. So far, so good. Let me know in the comments if you are using the new modernized camera, or have you opted for the PlayStation 2 camera. You know, I'm aware if you played the game through a lot before, like the old PlayStation 2 version, you might be like super used to the older hold a camera. So what we're doing here is we're going sort of like up this way because there's loads of additional collectibles that we can now get. So even though this is not really the way to actually go, this wall will now be cracked and there's a collectible right behind it. So we've just hit the thing, collected the collectible at the same time as like smashing through that wall. So make sure to smash through that wall and grab that collectible. And then on top of that we've got another one. So we have to backtrack all the way through here, up here, spectral on through, over to this material realm doodah. So we're going to do that. And we need to go all the way back over here, spectral shift again, and then down onto here, was close, onto here and onto here, and you guessed it, video game warriors, we're going all the way back into this room as Raziel shift realms 50 times achievement. Nice. Yeah, so you'll grab that bad boy just by playing through the game essentially. So yeah, this collectible is really well hidden. We're going to go all the way back into this room where this sort of like breakable window was. Then if we look up the stairs next to this earth door, we can actually break this now. And if we look closely, there is an Arcane Tome in there. So yeah, we need to work our way up to that and grab the Arcane Tome in there like so. So that is that, video game warriors. Now we can crack on. So yeah, we've still got a fair bit to do here. So next we have to go towards that like Vorador's crest door thing that we accidentally put that key item in a little bit earlier. So we are going to head back there. I don't really know what the best way to get there is. I'm probably just going to opt for going through here, I think. Although you probably could go the other way. But yeah, I'm just going to opt for this, I think. Let me know in the comments, video game warriors, if you played Nosgoth, the old PvP game on Steam back in the day. I have such fond memories of playing Nosgoth. What a beautiful game. I can't remember if it was 4 versus 4 PvP or it was 5 versus 5 PvP. It was like the vampire hunters versus the vampires, and you could play as you know, if you chose to play as a vampire, you would have the powers of that particular clan. So you could choose to play as a vampire from Raziel's clan, and you would have your special ability in that game would be like the power of flight. So you could do like special powers where you sort of like flew up and you swooped down, picked up a human vampire hunter, you know, picked them up, flew them up into the air, and then sort of like throw them down towards the ground. It was absolutely brutal. It was a great attack that I did often. Anyway, so what we're doing here is we're back in the sort of fountain room, and then what we need to do is go back through the air door, and we can now access this room. But if we head on back down, but yeah, there's loads of cool moves in Nosgoth, just to throw it out there. Spent many hours playing as a Raziel clan member and picking up vampire hunters and throwing them down to their doom. It was great. So here, just basically walk on over to this section, press square to access this door. Now that we have both key items, then we can head on through. I think memory is telling me Fire Reaver is required here, so just whip out the old Fire Reaver. And then we need to cast the Fire Reaver spell, so pop into the center and then cast the fire spell, like so. That bit kind of reminds me of Ocarina of Time, in one of the areas where you use Din's fire and you sort of like light all those torches up, and it gives you access to one of the temples. I think it's a temple anyway. So yeah, you guessed it, as we you know, light up those fire doodahs, these guys are going to come out and play. So just give them the old one too. You can, once again, if you want to try and like stand in the middle-ish, you can make them attack each other. Although, looking around this arena, there's not really any health pickups, which might make it a bit more of a dangerous tactic. But, you know, do what you gotta do. Just lure out the fire blasts. Wait until their shield has gone away. And then pop in. Pop a quick combo or two. And get out of there. So yeah, just don't forget that if you do hit them when the fire shield is active, you will take some damage. Although technically speaking, I think you do also damage the enemy at the same time. But it's like a just trading damage essentially. But yeah, just rinse and repeat those tactics, video game warriors. And that is that sorted. So we are getting kind of close-ish towards the end of this level, but there still is a fair amount more to do. Once again, this statue has had a massive upgrade. If you look at the PlayStation 2 graphics in comparison to like the remastered version of this statue, somebody has spent a long time 3D modeling this new model. Which looks insanely impressive. So yeah, awesome stuff. Anyway, pick up the key item, video game warriors, and then we can be on our way. I might choose the umbral cloak here so we can just run past some enemies if needed. Let's just see what pops up. Try and get that soul basin. No, never mind. I think we will actually cast it, to be fair. Unless we can knock this... In fact, no, I've changed my mind. I think we'll just knock this enemy into the water. Go for that one instead. So yeah, we've now got the key item. So the idea is that we bring this key item back up to the fountain room. And then this is going to give us access to a temple. I think there's another achievement in this temple that is quite highly missable. So what we're going to do here is just put the key item into this third section here, and then that's going to once again change the mansion a little bit and break various things like this. So now we can break this wall behind us, and there is a collectible just behind us. So make sure to grab this bad boy before proceeding forward. All right, so once we've got these 3 key items in, like so, up in this fountain room, it's going to give us access to the temple. So now this teleporter is activated and we can jump on in. So there is an achievement coming on up which is quite tricky, to be totally fair. What the achievement is that we need to defeat these 2 bosses within 10 seconds of each other. So, you know, once you've defeated the first boss, a timer is going to start, and then you've got 10 seconds from that point to defeat the other boss. It'll make more sense in a sec. So let's jump in to the action here in this water temple. I believe there's also a collectible knocking about in this water temple as well. So let's get cracking. So the achievement that I'm talking about in terms of these bosses, I think the bosses are going to trigger straight away, if my memory is serving me here. So the achievement is called United We Fall, which is defeat 2 vampire guardians within 10 seconds of each other. So as we jump down here, basically we have to fight 2 bosses in the same arena at the exact same time. So you have to defeat these 2 bosses within 10 seconds of each other. So we shall jump in to the action here. I'm just double checking that we are good for collectibles and stuff. So yeah, let's go for it. So as we approach this forge, the bosses are going to jump into action. Can be a little bit tricky because we've got the slewer wanting to play ball at the same time. These sort of like slewer enemies, if that's how you pronounce their names, are just put there to restore our health, essentially. But what's tricky about this is that we need to bring both of these bosses' health down sort of like equally. But as you can see, it can get pretty wild. We just need to pay attention to our health, the boss's health. You know, can we absorb some souls to restore our health? And there's a lot to manage really with this, but if you just keep your eyes peeled on the boss's health bars, we want to sort of like bring them down so that they're sort of like defeated roughly at the same sort of time, which certainly can be easier said than done, that's for sure. You might find that the old PlayStation 2 camera can sometimes be quite useful on this. If you get caught in that, you need to spam square to get out of it. I'm trying to sort of like feed on souls while trying to avoid all of these attacks. Don't know if we've got any slewer that want to play. I'm hoping that we can defeat one and restore some health, because our health is looking relatively quite low. Have we got any that are ready to be eaten? No, our health is still looking relatively quite low. Luckily we've got a powered up Reaver, so that should make it a bit easier to fight these. So I'm going to go for a feed if possible. I think we've got one that we can feed on. Nice. So I'm going to focus on the green health bar. So not that one. This guy here. We've also got the powered up Reaver. Ideally, I don't want to hit that other boss at all at this point, because their health is a bit too close to the bottom there. So I would say that the health bars are relatively quite close for both of these bosses right now. So I'm just going to bop them sort of like one bop at a time here. And I think it's probably better to focus on this boss first, because this is the one, I think it's the green one I'm talking about. So I'm going to focus on this green one. Because that's the one that can kind of like disappear for a while and you can't attack them. So you see he's kind of like in this like weird mist type thing where we can't do any damage. So now we've defeated the first one. We've got 10 seconds to defeat the next one. So we need to be super, super fast. There we go. United we fall. So yeah, bit of a tricky one. What I would say with that is, if you have defeated one of the bosses and it's looking like that you're not going to be able to defeat the second boss within that 10-second window, what I probably would do is be defeated on purpose, because all it's going to do is kind of like pop you back up to a checkpoint, which is the checkpoint is like just up above in the upper level of this temple, and then you can just try again. So yeah, it's probably worth being defeated on purpose if it's looking like that you're going to miss the achievement. Although technically speaking, there's a collectible here, by the way, just to point that out there. So as we kind of like transition into the material realm here, there is a collectible straight away. So make sure to grab that. What was I saying? So I believe there's also another instance of a duo boss fight. So if you missed that one, don't worry too much, because there is another duo boss fight a little bit later on, so you've got like a second attempt. But if possible, I probably would try and get that achievement on that particular boss duo just there. Anyway, so yeah, same again for the temple stuff as per usual here, video game warriors. So we just go up to the forge. The forge gives us a new Reaver. As per usual, we've got the water Reaver. And then we just need to use the water Reaver on all the things to get back out of the temple again. So if we just press on these fire things, like so. That achievement, that duo boss achievement, is pretty rough, to be totally fair. But yeah, keep cracking away at it, video game warriors, and you'll sort it. I'm just looking for some health here, but I'm struggling. Maybe there's some up the top, perhaps. Anyway, now that we've got the water Reaver, we can freeze these. We can freeze water, and that's going to let us sort of like climb up the frozen water. So we need to do that a few times. Pop our way up to the fire here, and then slap the old water Reaver into that. So that's 3 of the things done so far. What else we got here? We've got 1 through there. I'm just going to look for some health real quick. I'm sure that there's some... maybe not. I mean, our health's looking a little bit low, but that's fine. Sure, we can sort this area out before we are completely out of health. But I guess we'll find out. I'm just double checking to make sure we've got all the collectibles and stuff, so we are good. And then we need to go into this section here. And then press this fire doodah, and then we've got 1 more fire doodah to get. This one is quite rough. to be totally fair. It's not very obvious, but you just basically go into the spectral realm and it moves this platform all the way up to the top and gives us access to the top section here. But yeah, that one's a little bit tricky. And then you want to go all the way across. We've got this material thing here, and then we can go back to the material realm, and we've now got access to this last fire thing here. So there we go, video game warriors. We are smashing through this chapter. Like I said earlier at the start of this chapter, this chapter is quite wild. There are many things to do. Boss fights, temple, key items, all sorts of crazy things. Anyway, so we're gonna sort of like work our way back now towards where we entered this temple from. So we're gonna use this material doodah to shift into the material realm, and then we've got this teleporter activated so we can jump on in through the teleporter. I think there's also an achievement, just to throw this out there, to freeze a certain amount of enemies, perhaps. So that would be like with the powered up, the powered up water reaver, when it's fully powered, will actually freeze enemies in place, which is really fun because it just makes them much easier to fight, because they just stand there and don't fight back. Anyway, so we have got all of the stuff, so where we need to go next is, I think it's through the fire door again. I was just brain scanning this mansion, my memory database. We need to go find Vorador at this point, which I believe is, if we go through the fire door and follow this around, we now have the fire reaver and the water reaver. So what that means is we can pop down here, have a quick snack. We've also still got one more collectible, by the way, video game warriors, just to throw that out there. So we need to be keeping our eyes peeled for that collectible in just a sec.
The braziers were all lit, but still.
So we cast a fire spell there, and then we switch to the water reaver, and the ones that are blue, we just press the water reaver on those to give us access to this section here. So once again, if you've not seen that cutscene, absolutely, sink your teeth into that cutscene. It's glorious. I also really like here, this is like a really small environmental art detail, but you see like this pattern on the walls here with like the black and red type design. We also see that in Soul Reaver 2. I believe in Janos's sort of like area of the game. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's cool to see like the the environmental design is kind of like brought from Defiance to Soul Reaver 2 and Soul Reaver 2 to Defiance, and it's like consistent sort of like designs throughout the games, which I thought was cool. Also, the design of this sort of like area here, I feel like is taken from, there's a time chamber in Soul Reaver 2, and it kind of looks like a copy and paste of that asset, but changed a little bit. Anyway, let's crack on through Video Game Warriors. Let's go for the water. I don't think we've cast the water spell yet, have we? So let's cast that while I think about it. Let's cast the water spell. But that's just a good use of asset management in video game development. So if you've created an asset, you know, it takes a lot of like time, blood, sweat and tears, money to create assets for games. So it's just, you know, it's just intelligent game design. If you've created an asset and you can use it again in a different game, you know, absolutely go for it. A really good example of that is Elden Ring, because if you look at Elden Ring, basically all of the assets in Elden Ring are essentially just From Software's other assets that they've already created for their older games. So it's got like assets from Dark Souls, assets from Bloodborne, assets from Sekiro. You know, it's got assets from all the different games. I mean, a prime example of that is on... Wait, hold that thought a sec while I just get my bearings. We need to go this way. Up to here. I believe it's this way. I'm also just thinking, we've got one more collectible that we need to grab as well, so I'm just brain scanning where that is. We head this way. Follow this around. What I was going to say is a really good example of that is if you played Dark Souls 1, there's an enemy in Dark Souls 1 that's called the Asylum Demon, I think it is. We need to go Spectral Realm just here. And the Asylum Demon boss is actually the same boss as, I think it's called the Erdtree Avatar, or the Putrid Avatar. Maybe it's called the Putrid Avatar, perhaps, in Elden Ring. Yeah, if you look at Putrid Avatar and Asylum Demon, that's the same enemy with tiny tweaks. That's just a good example of reusing assets between games. Anyway, so what we need to do now, video game warriors, is just follow this path all the way back. Quick stack there. And just follow this path all the way back to this room where we got this key item a long time ago. So in this room here we have the final collectible to grab. So as we approach, the end of the level is just up in front of us, but before doing that, just smash through there and there's an Arcane Tome that we just grabbed there, although that was a little bit difficult to see. But yeah, there's a collectible just in this little section over here, so make sure to smash on through that bad boy and grab that collectible before ending this level. Yeah, other than that, just work your way over to this door, and there we go. That is the end of this chapter. And that's the end of that chapter. Please do pop this video a like if you have enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos from me, pop a comment and let me know how you're getting on with Defiance so far. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.